Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cookies Enabled. I am Will, and next to me here is Andrew. He is my editor and longtime friend here, and we are Cookies Enabled. We're bringing you guys some science news and interesting facts about the day and week and what's going on in the world. So, we have quite a bit of interesting news to share today, and one of the big ones was something that just happened to me this morning. I just got my second COVID-19 shot today, and I think that went pretty well. My arm actually seems to hurt less this time so far than it did last time. And I did the same arm instead of switching them. I've tried that in the past with not a good idea. Don't recommend switching arms. So I also had the same lady administer the shot. She did a fantastic job. I don't remember her name, but great job. And this was at my local Rite Aid. So, now I have my amazing vaccination card completed, and I'm super happy about that. Mainly just because I do work in a food environment and in a public environment, so I definitely need this, and I'm immunocompromised. So, it's like so many reasons for me to need this vaccination, and definitely glad that I was able to get one at least a little in advance. It wasn't much, but I know Andrew has gotten his as well, and I think that went pretty well for you guys. Was the second one worse for you or better?
For me, the second was definitely worse. Weird thing was Andy reacted more to the first one.
Right.
Horrible, just kind of a crappy night, fever, chills, stuff like that.
Okay.
For me, first one, not a problem. The second, I woke up at 3 a.m. feeling absolutely horrible.
Oh no.
Oh, it was shaking, fever.
Oh.
Thing for me.
Yeah.
It was the only time in my life that I've not been upset that I was sick. Like, I knew this was a good thing. Usually,
right.
You wake up, like, you're just angry, you're upset, you're emotional, like, oh, why do I have to be sick? But this time, like, I feel like crap, but it's a good thing.
It's a good crap, right? You know this is coming.
So that was a weird sort of disconnect in my mind.
Okay. That's not, I don't feel any different. I'm a little tired, but it's been a long week. I have a lot to do today, and it's just been one of those things. I have a lot on my mind, so I think that's the other thing. It's just I'm mentally exhausted, but that has nothing to do with the shot. I think that just has to do with my life right now, So nothing personal against the shot. At least so far, I don't have a headache. I don't feel like I'm running a fever or anything. And I didn't have a reaction in the first 20 minutes to either shot. And even this time, the lady was like, yeah, you don't really need to stay the full 20 minutes. You had no reaction the first time. There's really no chance you're going to have a reaction this time either. That would be really, really rare. And I didn't even think about that either. But yeah, that would actually make sense. If you're not going to have a reaction the first time or with the first shot, you're definitely not going to have a reaction with the second one. It's the same shot. So
they say you usually will get more of a reaction with the second one.
Right.
Just it's another it's another assault on your immune system. The
Absolutely.
First one you kind of get used to it, but it's also because the first one kind of trains your immune system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's reacting more because it's already been trained to react a bit more, especially to those spike proteins. But you know what? If I had to feel bad for a day,
right,
it's worth it.
You're right. It's totally worth it.
We're seeing results, I think, finally. Early on, we were definitely seeing good results in the senior crowd, 65, 70 and older, as deaths and hospitalizations started to go lower. Mm-hmm. So we showed that, and even though cases were still rising, it was that was to younger crowds. It was due to schools.
Right. Schools reopening, teachers, people going back to work, parties.
Yeah. Even now they're showing that more of the hospitalizations are from the younger crowd, but they are still the ones that do not have the full vaccinations yet, even though we're starting.
Yeah, we're just getting there, actually, as I'm about to mention next. We're just getting to the open policy for everybody kind of thing.
start getting vaccinated. And now we're finally seeing those numbers in Michigan start to drop. Like we went from 9,000 today to today was, I think, a little over 4,000.
Right. Yep.
If anybody is watching the Michigan COVID numbers, you just type Michigan COVID into Google and it shows
instantly.
You. You will see they never report Sundays, or they really don't. So Monday is always a really high spike. And that's because it's counting Monday and Sunday. And then like today was lower than yesterday. So I'm seeing a trend where it kind of goes down, then spikes on Monday.
And then down again. Okay, that does make sense.
I think 40%, 40-ish%, or 30, one of those of Michiganders have been fully vaccinated.
Okay, yep. I've heard that same thing, yep.
Given out, so people are getting it. It's, I think, starting to finally make a difference.
Well, and it's getting easier to find. Like I was struggling to find anything other than like Meijer, which Walmart, and like local hospitals, which were all booked and doing everything by the book. And in some cases, even though I was immunocompromised and frontline worker and yada yada, I still didn't qualify because they were only doing like, certain groups, so like 65 or older, and or if I work as a nurse for someone in like a nursing home or something like that, then I would qualify. But other than that, no. So that's where I was kind of stuck in that gray area of like, oh, I definitely need one, but I have to wait to get it. And that's where Rite Aid came in, actually. Rite Aid got the approval to give the shots, just like a Walgreens, essentially. They have a little room that they bring you to. It's right next to the pharmacy, and they have a freezer and everything they pull it out of, and poof, they give you the shot. You're done. Super. She didn't even need to give me a Band-Aid because I didn't even bleed this time. So, I mean, again, really, really well done. They definitely knew what they were doing. It was completely by the book. I had to fill out a little piece of paper, going over the questions. Have I done a blood transfusion? Any vaccinations in the last 4 weeks? Maybe I got a flu shot 2 weeks ago or something. That would actually delay me getting this vaccine. So obviously now I can get a flu vaccine, but I'm going to want to wait a couple of weeks to let my immune system get back to normal, and then I will get a flu shot. So, it's just one of those things. And now, Meijer, if you are in Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, I think Kentucky has a few Meijers, or Meijer stores, and they are doing open vaccinations. You can just go right to the pharmacy now and ask for their next available appointment and whatnot. So apparently they're just kind of open enrollment for everyone, which is just great because they have done a good job even blocking off parts of the stores to do the vaccinations and whatnot, and allow people recovery areas and stuff that they didn't really have before. So they did a good job. I think they're going to keep that up. It's too bad they're not nationwide. So unfortunately, as far as I know, they're not. But
I'm waiting to see if it's going to lag, if it's going to quiet in the video, but in Skype now, I can't hear your audio now.
You can't hear my audio? Oh, no.
No, I can.
Oh, okay.
For a second, I could.
It does kind of go in and out occasionally. I don't know if it's something with Skype or if it's something with my computer just lagging out. I'm buffering it at 20% usage, so I shouldn't be having too much of a drag. But so far, so good. Everything seems good so far on my side. But anyway, so COVID vaccine, definitely, if you can get one in your area, please try and find it. I went right to my Google search and just typed COVID-19 vaccine near me. Enter. That was it. That's all I had to do. And poof, I mean, the list was pretty big, and you just call different places, go right to their website, look it up. This was actually a picture of the Moderna vaccine, which is actually the one I have, which, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as the Pfizer vaccine. It's the exact same thing. They're just both producing it, and they both get to put their name on it and get credit for it equally, even though Pfizer really did a lot of the work. As far as I know, Pfizer really gets the golden crown there, and more power to them.
Well, they've been working on it separately.
I
mean, there's been research into mRNA vaccines for over a decade.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean,
this is a huge step forward.
I did like seeing that some of the companies, was it Moderna that worked with
AstraZeneca, probably.
It might have been AstraZeneca. One of them, they worked with a competitor to get enough, like to boost their production.
I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, was it Merck? I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they've all been trying to get that, and that, I mean, heck, I mean, more power to them. Companies are supposed to work together. Pharmaceutical companies never liked to, and now this pandemic is forcing them to. And I hate to say the word force, but that's legitimately what happened back in 2020. And now they like working and coercing with each other because they can share information and both benefit from that shared information, which is the whole point of businesses sharing with other businesses. That is a huge part of the business model, especially for the United States. So kind of shame on them for being late to the battle. But congratulations for sticking with it, companies, especially the pharmaceutical companies. The more you work together, the more everybody's going to benefit. You guys will make more money because we will have more products that are more easily findable and more suited for the individual. So I'm more power to you, really. This is great news. Cool, great news. Super awesome stuff. Hopefully that we don't need to have, one of my coworkers was saying something about needing a booster shot, or that these vaccines might wear off after so much time. If you're getting an mRNA vaccine, your second dose is your final one. You should never need a booster unless you're like extenuant, strange circumstances.
It'll end up being like a yearly flu shot, they think. So it's not going to really be a booster for keeping the immune system going so much. It's going to be for any of the variants that come out each year.
Exactly. If there's like a double spiral variance of a Brazilian whatever.
The vaccine stays around. It's still, even after 6 months, it's still extremely effective. Yes. Even if the immunity from it does not last forever, then fine. We get one every year like a flu.
Exactly.
I'm doing so. Yep. And just like the flu shot, it will probably be tailored to some of the changes in a few of the variants.
Well, and I would actually almost put these into the category of like a tetanus shot, like a 5 to 10 year range, really. Because this is not mutating as fast as a regular influenza flu. I feel like by now we'd have hundreds of variances, if not thousands, because it's already swept the globe. But it's, we've got maybe 10 variances of this in a year. So that's actually slow for a virus. So
everybody needs to get vaccinated. The more people get vaccinated, the less it's going to mutate, the less chance of it coming back in a worse way.
Exactly. So that's the whole goal.
Not stressed enough. Everybody needs to get vaccinated. It's safe. There's so much research out there that really shows how safe it is. Even the blood clot issues.
Oh yeah.
It's been 6 or 7 in 7 million.
Yeah.
Your chances of, you have a better chance of dying in a car crash when you wait to get the vaccine than you are from that.
Exactly.
Should not.
It's just, and then, then winning the lotto and, a few other things. So, I mean, you can actually, some scratch-ems have better win rates than that. So, like 1 in 7 million, you can get a couple scratch-ems that are like 1 in 5 mil. So, that's actually not so bad. Well, at least you used to be able to. I don't know if you can anymore, but maybe the dollar pull tabs you can. I don't know. That might be 1 in 10 mil. It's been so long since I've checked those numbers.
My stuff. That's about the only time I've ever played the lottery.
Right. God. Anyway, so totally getting off topic. That's enough about vaccines. Check out our vaccination special, which will be coming out very soon here. We're going to have a multi-episode vaccination special. So episode 1 should be coming out 2 weeks, I think. 2.5, something like that, give or take.
Or
maybe
from this
something like that. I can't remember. Very soon. And then we'll have probably another one in a month or 2 after that, with hopefully some experts on our channel able to question them. I'm hoping to get my doctor friend in here, Dr. Kurt Helgerson, and my sister, and you have a bunch of family as well that could also join in. So this is not going to be hard for us to find resources to get questions answered and really dive into the myths behind the virus and behind the vaccine. So just to break that down. So how about we jump to NASA next, because NASA has a lot of news. Mars has got a lot going on. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about making air on Mars first, because that was a big one and just recently happened. Let's see if I can pull this up really quick here.
Yep, your audio dropped again for me.
No! Damn it. Sorry, everybody. Can you hear me now?
I don't know why you keep doing that.
That is really weird. Is it so you can hear me
No,
through the... I don't know. I'm not doing anything over here either.
I think it's only through Skype for me.
Oh, that's so
I'm
funny.
Watching video here, and everything's coming clear on YouTube. So I apologize, everybody, if I tell Will to stop and repeat himself. It's only because I can't hear him. I'm sure you guys
Hopefully
can. Bear
everybody
with
can
us.
hear me still.
We're still figuring this out. We're new.
So here is our
It's
amazing NASA rover oxygen machine. This thing has been miniaturized, pretty small, not maximum miniaturization, but it's pretty damn small. I mean, this used to be like the size of like a room. Now it's the quarter of the size of a car, I guess, maybe about that size, possibly. Like the little gold box.
not the size of the minivan.
Okay.
I mean, or a small SUV like a RAV4 or something like that. The rovers have actually gotten bigger over time.
But this little box has been.
Those were maybe 2 by 3 foot. Now they're big. Big things coming out of there. I mean, we've had this technology for quite a while.
This is Moxie.
To miniaturize it and get it working on another planet is cool. We are actually making oxygen out of the Martian atmosphere, which is huge news. That's definitely one of the things we're going to need once we colonize Mars, is to be able to produce oxygen, not just for living on Mars, not just to keep us stable there, but also the liquid oxygen for the fuel to get back off of Mars to get back to Earth. So it is extremely necessary. So if we can pull that from the atmosphere, that is a great thing.
And this is just huge. I mean, it's really a big idea to be able to take really just any amount of resources and converting it into breathable oxygen is pretty awesome. I'm scrolling through the article so you guys can kind of see that it goes on to explain how this actually works here. But this little gold box is the one doing all the work. It's called a Moxie, which is Mars Oxygen in Pseudo Resource Utilization Experiment. Wow, that is a huge mouthful. Moxie sounds much easier to say.
It reminds me of the Marvel movies when they have the Strategic Homeland Intervention and Enforcement Division.
Yes.
It's like, just call it. It's a mouthful.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I was wondering, do they come up with the name first and then say, okay, we have to turn this into an algorithm? I mean, into an anagram. So
I don't know.
Now, let's tweak the name so that it fits. I never know.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I bet you it's kind of a little bit of both. They're like, well, we know it's going to be some kind of Mars oxygen machine, so it's going to be MO. And then they'll probably start with like that, and then they have to put the technical aspect on.
At the IE. Could that be? Let's figure, someone is getting paid to figure that out.
Yes, absolutely. But that is really cool. I absolutely love the idea that not only have they taken like a laboratory experiment really to the next level of putting it on another planet and testing it out on a rover. There's not even a man or anybody nearby to, help if this machine breaks or whatnot. Or if it just doesn't work and needs to be adjusted, they got to do it all from millions of miles away. So this is really a huge feat of engineering, I think, mainly because it's taking something practical from paper and applying it to a very real situation, and of how we can actually apply our technologies to further humanity in the future by, making breathable oxygen on other planets. That is awesome. I mean, I don't know how many more machines like this
a
we would
lot
need.
of what this mission was testing out new technology to see what is possible.
Right.
It's every time we go there, we have to try to figure something else out to make it easier for when we finally have a sustainable colony there. And that's going to happen at some point, or even if it's just a research center. We need to breathe. We need to be able to do certain things. So they test this out. Big thing they've been testing out too, and we've already shown, is the the Ingenuity helicopter.
Right.
Now we've seen it take off a few times, but it's made its third flight. One of the longest so far. They said it flew about half the length of a football field.
Wow.
Which is impressive. Some really incredible photos coming from it. I believe we have a video that was captured from the Perseverance rover. It's map cam. You can barely see this helicopter in the distance. It's gotten so far. They said there aren't going to be too many more flights right now. The next few are going to be more scouting to find areas that Perseverance should go and take a look at. And then they're probably not going to use it for a little while. It wasn't designed to be a long-term part of the mission to begin with. It was more of a proof of concept, but still had some real-world implications. It's helping the mission, but it was never the prime focus.
Right.
But still, to see them fly 150 feet, it's
really cool. Yeah, especially on another planet. This is awesome. This is so cool. Just like riding the moon dune buggy that they built around on the moon. This is probably 10 times cooler. I mean, at least. I mean, you can see it whizzing around there. This is huge. It's pretty awesome. It lands, it comes up, it goes down. I mean, it's really, this video is awesome. I could probably watch this over and over. I should just put this as my background. Just the Mars rover flying around.
Live background on my phone.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be very cool. But very awesome that, again, we're just taking our technology and applying it in pretty much every way that we possibly can. And this is taking things from paper and throwing it not just at the wall, but at another planet and a wall on that planet. And it works. Everything's working so far. And this is huge. This is very cool. Very cool stuff. So really exciting news. Love that. Let's see. So we talked about that. So we got some other random news in here. You wanted to talk about the SpaceX Crew launch a little bit, or no? I mean, I know they had a crew launch. I don't know much about that, unfortunately. I didn't find a picture.
Did not get to see it live.
I didn't either.
Mainly because I just didn't. Well, I started watching the live stream at like 1 a.m. when it started, but they launched at 5-something a.m. and I was not staying up that late.
Oh my God.
But they do live stream all of these missions from the very beginning, and it starts in the suit up room.
Oh.
This is the same room they've been using since the Apollo days, even earlier.
Okay.
Whenever they would launch from Pad 39A,
right.
This is where the astronauts would get suited up, their suits would be tested, they'd get ready, and then be carted off to the launch pad. So there's a lot of history in this room.
Right.
But that's where the live stream starts. You see these astronauts getting into their SpaceX suits.
Right.
Each one's custom for them. They look so much better than all of the old suits, I think. It's really great to see. Interestingly, in this mission, one of the astronauts is the wife of, I believe it was Bob Behnken, that flew on the first test mission for SpaceX.
Huh.
So, husband and wife, astronaut pair. They've both flown. They both flown on the same capsule. This one, last April, was their first test, the Crew demo. And the same booster and Crew capsule were used for this flight.
Interesting.
So completely tested, second time flying both of those. Those went through. But it was a perfect success. Went off without a hitch. I know SpaceX is really good at doing things well, but even now, you're still nervous.
Right.
Because there's 4 people at the top of this rocket, and they've proven that they know what they're doing,
right?
That it's extremely safe, but space is still dangerous. You never know.
Huh. Yeah,
So,
it just doesn't seem...
You're always white-knuckling it, hoping that everything goes up without a hitch.
Right, right. Huh.
We've had some pretty bad, accidents and failures over NASA's life. Apollo 1, Challenger, Columbia, and more. It's always nervous, but again, SpaceX has proven that they know what they're doing. The booster landed again. That was the 80th landing. They've only missed a few in the last several years. So it's still really exciting and exhilarating to watch these launches.
Right.
Again, we're now taking astronauts on U.S. hardware, not flying in the Russian Soyuz.
Right. Oh, that was other news I heard too. Was that
it's reused?
Oh, sorry.
And it just cool.
Yeah. No, I was.
It's fun to see.
You're good. I was you talking about the space station. I just read last night that Russia may be leaving the space station and building their own pretty soon here. Apparently, this is rumored and it has been speculated or something. So the article was really hush-hush, though.
They just be doing some missions, partnering with China, but I highly doubt that they're going to
build their own. And
I mean, the space station right now is set to be operational until 2024.
Right.
It probably will go beyond that. They've extended its life and its funding many times.
I would be surprised. Just let it burn up. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It's going to be up there for quite a while. It's probably going to change. It has changed. Yeah. When you look at tours, it's really cool. You can see the oldest modules versus the newer modules.
Oh, I can
really tell technology difference.
Oh, yeah.
And how we advance. I think they even tested an inflatable.
Oh, yeah, they did have an inflatable section. And that was apparently that was a success as well. Which was
they've added extra ports so they can have more ships dock. Even now, though, they had to have the previous. I think it was the SpaceX Crew 1.
Yeah.
They had to put a different docking port on the other side of the station to make room for Crew 2 coming on.
Right.
They've done the Soyuz craft as well because there's only a limited amount of docks, and right now I think there's 11 people on the space station.
Yeah, that's
3
cramped.
Spacecraft. It's pretty packed in there right now. Very shortly, though, the astronauts, the 3 or 4 from Crew 1, will be returning.
Okay. I'll say they can't really sustain that much for a long period, I would imagine.
Out all the time.
Right.
And they only stay up there. I think this crew is going to be there through October, the one that just made it up there. So
okay.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Hopefully.
We'll see how maybe we'll try to keep an eye on that. Depending on when it is, we'll show you the return of Crew 1. But we've got a lot coming up with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The SpaceX SN15 has conducted a few test firings. According to Elon Musk, there's a good chance we will get a flight of it later this week.
Right.
And really looking forward to that. Maybe this time they'll really stick the landing. It won't, go boom again. But
I don't know. We'll see. I have a feeling it's a 50-50 with the 15, that it's either going to go boom or it'll land perfectly. I don't know.
SN15 is, there are some very significant design changes.
Right.
And they've learned a lot from the other flights. So I think this one might finally stick it perfectly.
I know. We'll have to just hope for the best, I guess.
And then pretty soon it's going to go to the actual... I think the BN1 is what they're calling it, and I think that stands for booster. That's when they're going to actually be launching orbital flights.
Oh,
with
okay.
The booster.
I was like,
Starships.
A booster implies you're getting out there. Yeah.
It's big. The booster is almost as tall as you're going to double its height.
Wow. Okay.
And you're going 3 Raptor engines to, I believe, 27.
Whoa. Wow, that's a huge change. 27 versus 3.
At the beginning, called it BFR, Big F and Rocket.
Yeah, it is.
Really,
that's exactly what that is. That's a Doom reference right there for you gamer fans out there. Uh, but yes.
Yeah. Never thought about that.
Yeah, that is, because the BFG could be a BFR, the rocket versus gun. Anyway, last thing I wanted to talk about was just briefly, because unfortunately only half of us have seen this movie so far. Mortal Kombat, which just came out April 16th. It was excellent.
Everybody.
I'm sorry?
Spoilers, everybody.
Spoiler.
I know it's a live stream, but spoilers.
So
if you
spoiler.
hear this.
Yes. I'm actually not giving anything away here. I'm not going to literally tell you pretty much anything other than that the graphics were amazing, and compared to the older ones, this was a huge step in the right direction. Sorry, my knee just bumped my desk. I'm not having an earthquake or anything. So yeah, this movie was a huge step in the right direction. I think they did a great job expanding the character development and the plot, but it wasn't boring or slow. And it wasn't completely in subtitles either. Like they actually have them speaking in Chinese or Japanese or whatnot. So they're actually speaking their actual dialects. And in the other movies, they were just all English and just kind of going with the game. And it was just felt so gimmicky. This felt like a Marvel movie to me. It felt like I was here for the long haul. This is going to be like 10 more movies. And I almost had a Wolverine kind of feel to this, where we're right in the middle of the story. We're close to the beginning, maybe the first, like if you broke the full story into 3 movies, we're in the middle. And I think they're going to continue and do the second one, and then I think they'll jump back and do an origin story, which will help fill in a lot of the characters' backstories to this movie. So I'm not going to start nitpicking it to death. I have a feeling my editor will do that for me once he gets a chance to see it. Andrew is normally very good at critically dissecting this
Your
movie.
audio cut out again.
It's probably a good thing you can't hear me.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening with our audio today. You guys can hear him fine, but he just keeps cutting out for me.
Yep.
He'll just get quiet, and then I hear him again.
Can you hear me now? Nothing?
Now I can.
Okay, so now you can hear me. Okay. It was probably a good thing you couldn't hear me, because I was saying how you're very critical about a lot of movies, and you're probably just going to rip this one to shreds, even though I actually really liked it. But maybe not.
I feel like this is going to be this is probably going to be like the Transformers or Power Rangers reboot for me. I'm going to love it.
I think you're going to literally love this movie. I can't imagine you not.
From the trailers I've seen, it looks amazing.
It is. It's pretty amazing. It's not super long. Like it didn't feel like it was dragging. I didn't feel the other ones, all the old ones to me, if they weren't fighting, I didn't really care. I didn't know what was going on. Didn't make any sense. This was like you had to focus on everything. Again, like a Marvel movie, kind of like Avengers. You didn't want to miss something because there was so much detail in every scene. And really, they stayed true to the video games to the best as far as I could see. Everything that you've been able to do in a game with a fight move or a special attack has been somehow reincorporated into the movie. And I mean, stuff that we never even saw in older movies, they're doing in this one. Now, the graphics aren't, like,
Does someone
blow my
get
mind.
ripped out, like in the game? I hope so.
Yeah, there's some really great stuff. I just can't totally spoil it for you. But yeah, it's amazing.
I'm just excited to see it with the advancement in today's CGI capabilities too. Because the first one, I mean, it was B-movie quality. But some of the clips I've seen, was it Sub-Zero with his sword? Just it looks beautiful.
Some of the ice effects were so realistic. I don't even really know.
Get over here, all of that.
Yeah, the voice effects. The
look of everything. Raiden looks amazing.
Yep.
Everybody.
It's dead on by exactly like the game.
Is it close to like just a reboot of the first movie, or is it a different plot line?
This feels kind of like they're trying to reboot, but at the same time they were like, we'll just start it over and do something new. So I can't really tell at this point, and I'm sure you'll kind of feel the same way. It feels familiar, but it's not really the same plot. If that's the best way I can. It's a lot of the same elements, but it's not the same story. That's the best way I can describe it. But I like this story way better, and it makes way more sense, and this actually fits more, I think, with the game than anything we've ever seen before. It doesn't really go with the super older games, but the last few generations, this is exactly what we've been seeing.
HBO Max, so I can watch it soon. I'm
going
to have to.
Actually, yeah, it's on there now. If you've got HBO Max and you have paid your normal monthly subscription, this movie is available, which is excellent. And there is rumors that Netflix might be jumping into the gaming realm of games streaming. And I don't think this is a good idea. I think Netflix just needs to stop while they're ahead, especially with HBO pumping out tons of great media for people to watch. I'm actually considering saying bye-bye Netflix. Even if you do give me games, I get games from my Microsoft Xbox all the time with my subscription. So why do I need another one to do the same thing? Makes no sense to me. I don't get this. And stream gaming has never been good. Even if you've got like a gig connection, it's not good. So I don't know. I think HBO Max is definitely the way to go right now. You're getting so much good content as well as just endless theater, good quality movies, unlike Netflix, which is giving you
I'm really
dubbed
wondering if stream gaming is ever really going to catch on.
It
seems like every attempt, Google's
failed.
Stadia.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that in quite a while. It just seems like, we'll try it, and then no one cares anymore. No. There's something about having a console, buying a game.
Yes. It's that physical entity.
It's nostalgia from when we were kids.
Yes. Yes.
But I just don't see it. Maybe eventually.
Yeah, I think.
But I don't see it.
One more generation.
I mean,
another 20 years.
I mean, PC gaming might make a bit of a difference, but for consoles,
yeah. No, consoles will always have that.
If you stream from like a new Switch or something, maybe it'll allow for better cross-platform playing. Again, I would see this more with PC and then Xbox and PlayStation, just because those, I think, tend to be a lot of the player games.
Right.
Your MMOs, or especially first-person shooters, that's where you're going to want cross-platform play.
Right.
I think a lot more. Animal Crossing, you visit someone's island, but you're not,
okay.
It's not be 24-on-24 firefight.
Right.
So they're just, I think, just different worlds of gaming.
Right. And here's how I would like to stream. I have all my home consoles here. I'm one of those gamers. I like my home system. I want the console. I don't know why. If I don't have that physical box in front of me doing the computing, it just is. It's not the same experience for whatever reason. But let's say I have to go to the laundromat to do my laundry, and I'm right in the middle of Tomb Raider, and I don't want to give up that game. I want my console to connect to my gig line and turn into a streaming server. Now, the power that they cram into these boxes is massive. I mean, you're putting tons of CPU power, GPU power, and memory in these things. There is no excuse for why it can't regurgitate just your audio and video back out through a network
remotely, but using your home.
Yes,
like just
Microsoft kind of does that already, but you can use your phone to play certain games when you're away, as long as your console's online at home.
The hardware acceleration at home, just set in there,
and you're just using the Microsoft server as a backbone to your mobile device, so that way you don't have the lag between your Xbox Live service and your IP provider. In my case, it would be Comcast. So they don't work well together.
Because if you're playing on your phone, you don't need you're not playing on a 40-inch 4K screen, so you don't need all of that hardware acceleration.
Nope.
It can just stream the video feed.
Thank you. Yep. And that's exactly what I needed to do. That's all it needs is just that graphic interface and my audio.
Fast internet speeds, definitely.
That should be doable.
That could,
especially with 5G and 6G and all these coming out, it's going to be a thing of the future for sure. But I think the home console will always be that base center. and that will be your backbone for the future. If Microsoft, Sony, if anybody's listening to me and you think this is a great idea, I will buy whatever you put out that can do that, because so far no one has ever been able to do that successfully, and Microsoft has seriously been trying to do this since Windows Vista. So this is not a new idea, but
lag is big issue.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing against 24, other people. EVE Online had a brilliant idea for that. I don't think it worked as well in like a shooter, but they had introduced time dilation.
Oh, that's right.
And EVE Online,
Yep.
because there are some battles where you've got 600 ships in the same system. So they would just based on that, they would dial down the time in game. So you would be moving more slowly.
Yeah.
Everything would happen more slowly, but it would give their servers, because
just that
it doesn't
little
have
bit of lag.
Your system with 600 more players. Right. It means there's not going to be lag. Nothing's going to crash. Yep. It gets insane though. One of the largest battles had several thousand players in it, and things were going so slowly. I think that ended up costing people several $1 million in real world money. Because some of these players have been playing for a decade. They've spent so much in time and resources building their ships, and they're called Titans, that are dozens of kilometers long. And you need like 40 players to even pilot one of these things. And so many of those were destroyed. I had a friend that jumped in system just to see what that was, just to see what that battle was like. Immediately got targeted, and he noped out of there immediately. Just about lost his ship.
Oh, man, no.
Check out. It was incredible. That game's still going. It's solid. I could get back into it.
Now,
I've always loved it. Such a fun game.
It's not that our mobile phones and mobile processors haven't started catching up. I mean, technically, I can play Call of Duty on my phone right now, but the graphics that I'm playing on my phone are actually the Xbox 360 graphics, and we're already 3 generations, if not 4 generations, past that if you include the Series X and the PlayStation 5. Those have to be included, as well as the PC, because there has been a huge intake of PC gaming, and modding has come back. It looks like we do have one of our commenters. So glad that you could make it today. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we're hitting some topics. Leave some comments for us. I unfortunately am locked out of my commenter right now.
That is Evie. That's my
that's
niece.
your niece. Nice to meet you.
I'm so excited to finally watch these live now that we're on YouTube, instead of having to wait for us to upload it later. So,
and
it's probably like 400 feet away from me right now at the other house.
Hey, but then look at that. So either way, I think there is going to be more home consoles, and I have been saying this for a long time, and I really am surprised that Microsoft has not released some kind of home console that has like the Nintendo Switch, where you take a dock out and that becomes the console, and that just stays connected wirelessly as you move around in your real world, and you're on the train or bus or whatever it is playing your game. You're actually playing it on the home console, and it's just connected to your network, doing all the work for that little device. And I think we're just now finally getting between 4G, 5G, and Wi-Fi connectivity. You can pretty much play a game anywhere you go now.
I think it really comes down to just their market and target audience. That's a big difference. They're going to make and produce what sells for them. And with Microsoft and the Xbox's history, being very big with high quality graphics, with racing games, with sports, with first person shooters.
Forza's my favorite.
Play those on a big screen with the nice graphics. So I'm not surprised that they haven't really ventured into that. Nintendo's their sort of business model is much different.
Very different, and I agree with that.
So put something out like that, but there's no need for them to do it, and it probably would not sell nearly as good as a big beefy Xbox that someone can hook up to their 70-inch 8K 4K TV. They know that that's what people want to buy when they get an Xbox, so that's what they're going to make. Nintendo went in a completely different direction. So again, I'm not surprised that things have happened the way they are.
And I'm not saying anything negative about Nintendo either. I absolutely love the Nintendo Switch. I don't own one, unfortunately. I've never had the spare money to go buy one. But I have played it many a times and absolutely loved it. I didn't want to give it back because it was so much fun. And it felt so natural to just sit there and play with that and just sit on my couch or sit in my car or wherever I was. It just felt comfortable. I could even sit outside and play the games, and that was really cool because the only time I'd ever been able to do that was with my DS or my Game Boy, like way back in the day. And
fun to see a few people on a park bench playing Smash Bros.
Exactly. Yes.
On a nice. It's cool to see.
That is so cool. Oh man, that's huge. That is, and I think as games progress and technology gets better, especially with AR and extended reality, these are really going to start becoming, I think, cornerstones in a niche market of gaming. We already have Pokemon Go, which has had a huge explosion on the market. And Ingress started that one. That was also a game, and I think it's still available. Really good game if you haven't checked that one out.
Still play it.
Super fun. And it actually,
a lot of Ingress players switched over to Pokemon.
That's
Go.
what I thought. Yeah, it's easier.
Or they'll still play both a bit.
Yeah.
The very beginning when Pokemon Go came out, once in a while you'd see someone near a Pokestop, and you're like, "Oh, are you playing it too?" And once in a while you get someone who's like, "No, I'm playing Ingress."
Yeah. And they're like, "What's that?"
I noticed that once in a while, and people are always shocked when you say, "Oh, I know about Ingress too." So many people didn't.
Yeah, I was one of the few that actually beta tested that game.
And play with them for a bit. But no, it's still available.
Yep.
People are still playing. It's and Pokemon Go, people are still playing. It's still huge.
Right.
And what, 4 or 5 years later?
Yeah, it's at least, and it's still a solid name. And I see people young and old coming through my work playing that game all the time. So it's definitely still around. And I think that and AR, especially with the rumors of Apple glasses and Samsung glasses. Samsung just had an unboxing event today, which was actually about their new Galaxy Books that are coming out, which is essentially a laptop, but it's based on their kind of the Galaxy design. So they're like touch, they have Intel processors, pretty cool.
Building on the
franchise
ecosystem, as they call it.
Yeah, they even have a yoga model, which is pretty cool. So, and a wide range of prices. They're not super expensive. I was actually really surprised to see that. So. That all happened today. You can check out Samsung. I was going to pull it up for us, but it really was a long... It's just boring technical specs. Nobody really wants to know. I want to know that stuff, but most people don't care about that.
It says 1 sub equals 20 free cookies. I wish I could do that. Will needs to be able to make a living, though, and that's a lot of free cookies.
Yeah, I wish I could do that, but no. I unfortunately do not make that much. This is all free.
Maybe we can do something. We'll send a few cookies to our 100th subscriber, our 1,000th subscriber,
yes.
or something fun like that.
That could be cool for our that would actually be really cool. Our 100th subscriber, because I think we're only at 51 right now, so we're getting there. But yeah,
51.
I think that's what it was this morning.
41.
You had 41?
42. Hey, that's a good number. 42. And to the life, the universe, and everything.
Are you
I'm
sure?
Okay with that.
I thought it said 51.
Still, I know we're still a really small channel, but it's been fun to watch us. Almost 600 views. It's a drop in the bucket for YouTube.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Every view, every like, every subscribe helps the algorithm, and
it helps us. Yes, it helps me figure out what you guys want to see.
Gone viral with a ton of people one day. That would be amazing.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
We'll see. Don't know.
Yes, I'm excited for the future. I know we've got a lot of other things planned for you guys. Definitely leave us more comments. Let us know what you guys want to see in the future, and hopefully we will be able to pump out some new videos for you guys pretty soon here, and get you guys all up to speed. But hopefully we all learned something new today. I know I definitely did. But again, if you liked any of the topics that we talked today about, definitely leave us a comment or hit us up on our Instagram, Facebook page, or Twitter page. We even have an email as well, which is cookiesenabled01@gmail.com. And I will get that on the screen for you guys next week. But thanks again, everybody. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Have a great day.